Uh, we've been talking a lot about marketing. We've been talking a lot about digital. It is the most common questions we get into our team outside of how to use Wheelbase. And one of the big challenges that we've had over the last few years is, we can help out a little bit. We can give some suggestions. But what you really need is that expertise, either in your business or a great partner. And we've had a few dealers for sure who are building new websites, who've worked with different people and to varying degrees of success. And some have worked out really well, and others not so good. So last year, I was actually driving to work, and I was still living in Vancouver at the time. For those of you who I know who don't know this, I've actually moved to Austin, Texas this year at the start of the year. But I'm driving to work in Vancouver, and I'm like, we got to solve this problem. And then I'm like, why haven't I called Luke yet? And you're going to get to know Luke here in the next hour here, but he has a company called RTown. And the difference, I would say, versus some of those other ones is their approach. They're very focused on small and medium businesses. They understand that space. They've worked in a lot of different industries, but they were really excited when I talked to Luke about learning about the RV industry and diving in and truly becoming like the experts, not just on how to build your website, but to how to help you build one to win in this space. So I'm really excited to introduce Luke, who's going to spend some time with everyone here. Again, add questions into the chat as we go. But I think coming out of yesterday, where people were saying like, Alex confused the heck out of me. Like now I don't even know if I understand SEO. Like I got texts like that at the end of yesterday. So you don't have to learn everything if that's not your wheelhouse. There are people out there can help, and Luke's going to share some tips here today, but really excited to have you here today, Luke. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Evan, so much. And really great to be here. I did do a bit of a gulp seeing that some SEO stuff was talked about yesterday. So forgive me if I cover old ground today. My hope for this talk is that you get to know the concepts at a high level. And apply these to your business in the ways that you can move your business forward in the most optimal fashion. Just a quick one on me. So I co-founded RTown. We're headquartered in Vancouver. We have a distributed workforce, employees all over. One even lives on a sailboat, and we love serving small to medium-sized businesses with respect to digital strategy and execution. So my personal core values are lifelong learning, community, integrity, or the pursuit of truth, and fun and adventure. My last two adventures were dog sledding up in Whitehorse. This is in the Yukon, and minus 25 lows, minus 15 highs. And then my spouse turned 40 on Saturday, took her on a helicopter ride into the mountains. So love adventure. One of the things that excited me the most about building out a expertise at RTown for this industry was that piece, just that right there. I'm a big proponent of mental health, and adventure and fun is what you guys are selling. So love this industry. I'm really grateful to be here, and thanks for having me again. It's been an interesting year for everyone, us included in our industry. We happen to be like the folks in the RV world on the lucky side of this virus. Digital transformation, digital adoption, certainly one of the trends, in addition to how travel habits have changed. So feel really lucky to have the team I have, and to be working with folks like you, many of whom are in this room. So grateful to see those familiar names. But that's not the only thing that's changed. It's also people change. So my hope to get through a lot of content in an hour is I'm going to move quickly, seeing that we have a relatively intimate group and maybe have time for Q&A. I'm hoping to help give you tools here to think about different parts of your digital marketing strategy and execution for your own business, and lots of nuggets throughout this agenda. So let me dive right in. First thing I think about, just to make sure we're clear on what we're talking about with regard to strategy and execution. Personally, I like to put things in simple terms. So strategy is the exercise of deciding what to do, and I think most importantly, what not to do, and then coming up with the list of priorities that will then lead to your execution. And as entrepreneurs, we have to be doing this all of the time, reviewing what we are actually deciding to do and not do. and then doing or seeing done. And as we grow as entrepreneurs, it's more of the seeing done part. Execution is the doing or seeing done what you decided to do. We're a marketing company. I like to frame on strategy and execution there. So let's dive into marketing here. Marketing is, at the end of the day, I believe, storytelling. And importantly, and a lot of companies get this wrong, storytelling is really about your core customer. I won't go into this in full detail. We do have this tool that you can download for free. I highly recommend everyone approach their marketing and their business and how they communicate to their customers by first really getting clear on who your customer is. Evan this morning shared, I think, a really interesting stat that might have had a few eyeballs popping, or maybe not, because you're experiencing this in real time in your business. But that younger generation and the growth with that youngest age demographic coming in, the needs of that customer base are different. Just listening to Dave Wald at the tail end of the last presentation talk about Instagram and the customers they're attracting through Instagram, it's going to be a very different customer than the family that's looking to have a safe trip, that's a getaway with their family. So I highly encourage everyone here to think about their customer profile or profiles, really, and then name them. So that's the easiest part, because, and it's an important part that is often a misstep. When you name them, the team that you're working with, whether it's internal marketing resources or external agencies you're working with, when you have a name that everyone understands who you're talking about, your marketing can move a lot faster. The content you create can address the needs of that market, and so on. So a very, very important step to sit down and think, who is it that this content is meant to address? What is the journey that they're going to take to buy from us? And how do we satisfy the needs of those customers along the way? So yeah, we're in a shift. This year has been, fraught with concern but also opportunity. For this industry, I was thinking about the critical things that we think are happening, but also hearing from our customers, and just sort of dovetailing off of the high-level stats that Outdoorsy shared from their platform view. First, of the customer's emotional need, just to reiterate, safety, security, economics are high on their agenda, as well as obviously adventure. We're all selling adventure. We're selling that experience. But the need for mental health breaks is now at an all-time high. We actually, I don't know if people remember, but the World Health Organization, when we started 2020, the #1 health issue in the whole world was mental health. And that didn't go away when COVID came. So, we've got an opportunity here to give, aspirin to a very big, literally a very big headache in this industry. And obviously the shift to the local customer is one of the biggest drivers through this. So, I've talked to one of our customers in the RV world. This last year has driven 90% of their revenue has been driven by customers who are located 30 to 40 miles within their geography. So that's a huge shift in the market. On a macro scale, digital habits, and I'll just quickly go through these. So we have more people online. There's extended time online, which means there's more research. Media habits are accelerating toward digital. The other thing that's gone on is in this crisis, and an economic crisis tied to a pandemic, a lot of companies think the first thing they need to cut is their marketing budget. And so we've seen this time again as opportunities opening up for gains that can be made for those who strategically place their bets. So cost of customer acquisition as a result can come down. Your ability to rank for certain words starts to improve. So there's some shift there, and if you play your cards right, you can get some gains. But I think this last point, so I haven't heard it said yet, and maybe it has already, but I think this is the most exciting part for what the shift is for this industry, for RV renters, is with your customer becoming a local customer. Some of you seeing that shift, and I don't know how far it stretches for you from a geographic point of view, whether it's 30 or 40 miles from your business, but that local customer, you have the opportunity now to grow lifetime value customers. And these new entrants coming in, whereas the old mix of customer base here would have been out of state, out of province, out of country, that repeat buyer was less of an opportunity in pre-COVID days. You now have an opportunity to wow and delight a customer base that can become a repeat and loyal brand customer for your dealership. So I think this opportunity is really, really exciting for this industry. And as you think through the whole customer journey for your business, the touch points you can make now should, and I think it can and should shift to satisfy and drive that loyal repeat, increased customer lifetime value type customer. So yeah, exciting time. I mean, it's go time in this business. So really, really exciting. Being a marketer, we think in terms of funnels. So when we engage with our customers here, we're talking about what stage of the customer journey are we trying to satisfy with what we're doing. So we do a lot of customer journey mapping at RTown, implement tools, content, and measure things. So, but we think about this in terms of what stage of the buying journey are we going through? So to quickly level set here, everyone's buying journey is the same. We start with awareness of our problem or desire, and then awareness of who are who could possibly solve that. Then we go down an education process. Is it the right price? Does it have the right is it the right RV for me and my family? Is it going to take us to the right place? Is it in our price range? What social proof? Who else thinks this is great? And then we're at that sale point. So where do I begin? Quickly stepping to the whole customer journey and abstracting out. The front end is there. And the middle part is also what I want you to think about is those touch points once they come to you and now they're on your premises. What is their experience once they're there? What's their experience when they get what they're renting from you? Any little touch points throughout their journey that you can make their experience even better. And then, advocates and brand advocates to grow and upsell and have them repeat and come back later on. Layering in measurable marketing tools and to now come to level into digital. Awareness is Outdoorsy, social, and search. Education, your owned media is your website and the content you produce. Social proof around your testimonials, online reviews, and then your sale is bookings, like how often do these convert in an online context into a sale for you? Simplifying it, I think of social media is how your customers will hear about you. Search and Outdoorsy are how they'll find you. Your websites are how they will understand the most about you. Wheelbase is where they will book and convert to leads. And then content, the important critical accelerator for your business. Content is how they'll remember you. How do you stay in the mind of that buyer so they think of you when they go down their buying journey to find you. So there is lots to cover in here. I've chosen today to zero in on SEO. And again, I'll go quickly, and forgive me if some of this was covered yesterday. I hope to take a new spin on this for you today. What we're looking at here is a search engine results page. It's otherwise known as a SERP. I think everyone knows, but the top area is where the ads are placed. So it's otherwise known as search engine marketing, or SEM. Google Ads is another way to think of it. Another name for it. Leave it to the digital marketing industry to come up with 10 names for the same thing. The Google My Places, or Google Maps and Google Places. Google My Business is the next section, and underneath is the organic search ranking. Inside Maps and Google Places, we do have ads and organic placements as well. So the thing I want to just talk about here, and in sort of preparing for this and talking with Evan, the thought was there's probably a higher degree of acumen around pay-per-click or Google Ads than there is around SEO. So if I can pull the cloak off of it, let's start with why you do SEO. Why should you do SEO? Why should you consider doing SEO for your business? The numbers you see here are the global average of clicks from a search engine results page, right? So roughly 9%, about 8.7% of the time, ads get clicked on. 29.7% of the time is where organic rankings are clicked on. And now I know and understand that this doesn't add up to 100%. The rest of these, so roughly 60%, are no click-throughs. Users are just getting what they need or not and leaving this page. So important to just know this. Why do you do SEO? Well, long term, it drives down your customer acquisition costs. If you're only doing ads, you're having to consistently do ads to drive bookings and drive, well, really drive traffic to your website, which you hope to drive bookings from. Whereas you get 3 times as much traffic from SEO when you rank well here. And I can share from 7 years of looking at this data across hundreds of customers consistently across the board, SEO traffic stays on your website longer, converts at a higher rate. Anecdotally, but in talking to hundreds of customers over the years, the quality of the leads are better, the quality of the sales. So I can't stress enough the importance of thinking about SEO as an investment that you make and it pays off long-term for your business. And so that's why you do it. What's involved in SEO? I think it was covered yesterday. I won't go into this in detail. It's just to say, think of SEO as work performed over time to help your site get ranked for the words that matter for your business. There are tactically, as you're executing doing SEO work, 2 primary buckets that SEOs focus on. There's on-site SEO and there's off-site SEO. Generally, it's what's going on your website itself, and then what's happening to link back to your website from reputable sites off of your website. So that's SEO in a nutshell, and it's literally just effort sustained over time, doing various things to drive rankings. Let's spend a bit more time though on the opportunity for your businesses, and this could apply to paid ads or SEO, but the key shift as we've gone from global or out of state, out of province, out of country customer base to a local customer base, how many people revisited their SEO strategy and their keyword strategy for that local audience? And so I'm just recommending, if you haven't yet and you're doing this work, maybe take a pause and take a look at, are you doing the right things? The key things you want to look for from a keyword point of view, and there are tools you can use to do this research yourself or hire a reputable shop to help you make these decisions. These are some of the most important decisions if you're going to do paid ads or SEO. It's what words to win for. So this is an example of, let's look at the local chart here. This is an example of keywords you might want to look for in your own area. So RV, and we just pulled these 2 days ago. So let's take RV rentals Las Vegas, for example. In doing research about whether to win for that word or not, we can look at keyword difficulty. So that's KD. This is on a ranking factor out of 100. So 22 out of 100, reasonably okay to try and win for that word is what this is telling us. The next column over is search volume. How many searches per month does that keyword experience on Google? And we've got volumes, and then we have click through. So of those that search, how many click through to that keyword? So we got volume local, we got volume global, and click through rates. So this might be one, and if you're not currently working on this and your dealer, your rental business is in Las Vegas, this might be one to look at to rank for. There are other things to consider, but this is just some of the ways to approach, am I optimizing for the right words to ensure we're getting the right traffic? So obviously, keyword volume matters, because if there's no one searching for it, no matter how easy it is to win for it, there's no point. There's no traffic for it is what this is telling us. So you have a gut feeling about what your customers might be searching for. Take that gut feeling, match it up against keyword research, and do this properly to know which words to approach and win for. So I hope that makes sense. From a results point of view, so again, why do you do SEO? Well, you do it to rank for words that get you traffic for that word, for those words, right? So reporting can show you where your start rank was, and then over time, where your ranking ended up. And just no doubt about it, you've got to be page 1, preferably spot 1 or 2, to get the value of doing SEO. The joke in our industry is if you want to hide a dead body, you hide it on page 2 of Google. No one goes to page 2. They generally will search again to look to find what they're looking for. So the goal here is to get words that matter, where they have good volume of search, relevant to your industry, your location, and your buyer, and relatively easy to win for compared to others that might be fighting to win that word. And then measure it over time. And if you're doing this yourself, we do this as a best practice. Log the work performed. So if you remember what I said earlier, SEO, if you think of it simply, it's just labor. It's time spent doing work to get your site ranked for these words. Log what you're doing, because that can inform the impact on keyword rankings, right? So you might have spent time doing, profile development. You might have spent time doing linking. Log what you're doing and where. So that informs how the rankings improve over time. And if you aren't doing this yourself, I would encourage you to push the agency that's doing it for you to be transparent in their reporting, so you can see work performed, logged, and does 2 things. One, it gives you peace of mind that the work's being done. But I think more importantly, the work informs the results. So these are leading and lagging indicators for the outcomes you're driving for. So I'll move on from it, but happy to answer questions at the end. Some major rules that we live by here. Keyword research sets you up for success. So know the words to win for. Have a high degree of certainty. So do the gut on what you feel your customer is searching for. Match that against the actual research to tell you what to actually focus on. Optimize for your homepage, and then measure everything. Measure keyword rankings over time, site traffic from SEO, and bookings from your SEO site traffic. Just know this is a long-term investment, so know this before you invest. A reputable professional who really knows what they're doing should be able to get you to page 1 of Google within 3 months, roughly a 3-month time frame. The right words means more traffic, more time on page, and more bookings. And as I said, the key thing around SEO that I love is it drives down your cost of customer acquisition over time. Often at RTown, what we're doing with our customers is ads for a while and then SEO combined. We're pulling ads away as SEO replaces it as the dominant source of traffic, and overall cost of customer acquisition comes down over time. Okay, I'll move into social media, and I hope heads aren't spinning too much. SEO can be a very esoteric subject. Let's dive into SEO, and I'm going to hopefully give you some nuggets to think about. We talked about Facebook as an ad platform. I totally agree. Instagram still has the ability to build organic followers, create organic content, leverage influencers, and create, like a true brand around your business. That's probably your best bet next to your website. But don't lose sight of the low-hanging fruit around Facebook ads. They still drive business forward. We're seeing great results there. At the end of the day, this is about quality content and ads. And then ensuring what you're doing on social is also properly set up so you can track the results. Okay, so across all of these things I'm talking about today, these are all highly measurable marketing tools: SEO, pay-per-click, social media, and ads. In social, it's pixel tracking. You want to track the customer journey from the ads through to your site, through to bookings, okay? And that clean customer journey in your reporting, did you get a sale this month or last month from your efforts in any one of these buckets? You should have clarity around that. And if you don't, seek out professional help or do the research to find out. But all of this stuff is highly, highly measurable now. Content, generally speaking, think in terms of creating content that gives to your audience. What really works is the value you provide to your customer in this world. So don't go out selling all the time. Go out giving, and then ask your audience to come back and provide for you. I love this book. I'm going to recommend a book here because a lot of folks think in terms of, we get asked a lot, how do we go viral? I think this is the definitive book on why things catch on. It's written by Jonah Berger. And, in addition to Robert Cialdini, who wrote Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, I'd say that book and this book are essential reading for understanding the mind of buyers and how to sell. This book is particularly relevant, I think, in a social media context because it's about why people share things with others. And so virility starts there. And if you really want to grow your brand, and there's no code, by the way, there's no answer to virility yet. If there was, everyone would be doing it. But this has, I think, keys to that kingdom of how to get your content shared out more widely. So, and a helpful acronym here is create content that satisfies one or more of these, what they call steps in the book. So social currency, think of things like, something cool or something inside. We as humans will generally share something that we think we'll get the social benefit from having shared it. So think exclusivity, think cool. Triggers are things that remind us of a brand. So think like the Apple white headphones are now AirPods. But at the time, these were the only, sort of every other headphone was black with black cords. Apple did something to create triggers to make you think of the brand Apple by just creating white headphones. Emotion, I think we know. Public is about making things visible. So how many of you have your brand on your RVs for rent? How many of you have your brand on your camper vans for rent? So when they're out in the world, you're creating that brand impression and making things public. Practical value is things people value what is useful. So good information, top 10 places to visit in our area. And then stories is what people remember. So really great book. Highly recommend it. I'll give two examples here as I go down the content journey in the context of social media marketing. This I would say is in the bucket of what's practical value. A lot of you are doing this. Some of you still aren't, as we've seen. So make that what your customer is buying, make what your customer is buying the thing that's prominent on your websites around the destinations to go and the places to visit. Inside, I'd encourage what else is of practical value to your customer is what to plan for, the things to think about for this specific journey so that they have the best experience possible. The more you're able to provide that, the deeper you're creating trust, the higher chance you have of these things being shared out from your blog or whatever content source you have on your own website. I have a new idea I'm going to share because I think this is something we've stumbled on here at RTown, and I thought to share this because as I was thinking about the trends to your local customer, and there was some discussion in the last talk around radio and becoming friendly with your local DJ. When I think about traditional forms of media, I think in terms of PR being the best impact you can have through traditional media, and generally speaking, radio, print, TV loves telling good, positive stories, and you won't even have to pay for those stories to be told. So I'm going to give you a social media content idea here that I hope does for you what it did for us. So. And I saw in the poll that a high percentage, I think Evan shared it, I think 25 or 35% of you are doing social media ads today. So here's an idea for those folks. And it's very simple. This is an example of a post I put out personally on my LinkedIn. And it was that for every like this post gets, and this was on May 23rd when I put it out. So I put a parameter up until May 25th. I committed RTown to donate $10 to the Canadian Mental Health Association. And then I had an explainer. And this is something I read in California, that there was a year's worth of suicide attempts in the last 4 weeks. And another comment about mental health here. So this was just pajamas on a Saturday morning, having a coffee. I had a moment of inspiration. I wanted to put something out. So $10 to Canadian Mental Health for every like. And in my head, I thought, my best post is, I've got a team of people who are better social media marketers than me. This might get 50 likes, maybe 100 likes. And that'll be $1,000 check I have to cut. So no problem. By the end of its tail, we had 596 likes, about 22 comments. I think this was shared about 20 times. And there were 21,000 page views from this. May 25th was a cutoff. I cut a check for $4,500 to the Canadian Mental Health Association. From this, someone tagged the CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association, so I got to meet him. BC Business picked up the story. We ended up getting press in the local media here, and links from this are backlinks, good for SEO for RTown. We ended up coming up with a concept around this, and we're calling it Philanthropos. So try that. Try it in your local community. Pick a local cause, and take whatever you're spending on maybe Facebook ad spend this month and give this a good shot and see what it does for you. I think this is a great alternative to try and get that brand impression, brand reach, and create some local buzz and community buzz for yourself, which wasn't the impetus for doing it for us, but as it turned out, it ended up being a really great thing for marketing the RTown brand. So I hope that would work for you as well. Some rules for social. So ad groups, again, coming back to part of strategy is research. It's deciding what to do and not to do. So again, just like in SEO, spend the time to do the research here on your ad groups. Again, going back to what I said earlier about having your customer profiles, your customer profile will help you define your ad groups in your social media marketing. And as Evan talked about earlier, the targeting is really good. Okay, so if you get clear on who you're trying to target, tailoring content for that audience, you'll see the impact flow through this. But get the ad groups right so you know who to target. Pixel tracking. So again, on measurement, make sure it's set up properly so you have clean data out the other side. So measure what matters and know if this is driving bookings for you. And then content. So content is give, sell, and meet the emotional needs of your customer through story. These things take time. So if it's not you doing it, you've hired someone or you've outsourced to an agency, 1 to 2 months to nail the audience tone. But after that, we should have a good, healthy cadence of traffic from this source. And then on the other end, as we think about your customers have had a great experience that you've delivered, ask for user-generated content, ask for reviews, get a good, healthy cadence of getting that customer voice through your social media marketing and onto your sites. Okay. All right. Last but not least, the bottom of the funnel, the place that I think there is still so much opportunity for improvement across this community as it relates to getting your sites right and integrating Wheelbase effectively and efficiently for you. Let's talk websites and a bit of content. And I'm going to share a few customer stories so folks can think about this for their own business and their own website and where we're seeing impact. So first thing I want to say here is, for RV Pirates and what we like and what we see working across the web is a simplified homepage. Don't overwhelm your customer. This is their first point of entry. It should be, or it usually is, first point of entry from the links across the web that they're coming to. Make it super simple and clean and clear as best you can about who you are, what you do, and what you want them to do. Okay, so if you've ever gone to a restaurant and the menu is 6 pages deep and everything's detailed, don't overwhelm with choice. Go super, super simple on your homepage. Really clear, bold, big calls to action, and you will see your conversions go up. All right. So this is where conversions happen, is on your website. This is your owned media. Consistent calls to action also makes it easy for them to know what to do. Again, making it easy for your customer to know what to do from wherever they are. So we've got check availability. We've got the Wheelbase date picker right up here. So if you notice, this also looks a lot like a search engine for which web users are now incredibly comfortable using and navigating. So this is super accessible, very clean brand look and feel. So if you've got a busy website and many options for your customer on your homepage, I encourage you to look at this. This is low-hanging fruit to increase conversions and get more bookings. Coming further through, again, opportunity on your Wheelbase integration, your booking page, to make sure you've got a consistent brand look and feel for you. I've seen so many Wheelbase pages where it looks like you've left the website that you were just on. That creates confusion for your customer, and it increases bounce rate, so drop off. People will leave sites more when they aren't feeling like this is what they should be seeing. So it's about making sure they see consistent brand look and feel through the journey on your site, so that increases trust. This is one I love. Omar, this is a credit to you at OnDemand Camper Van. If you remember what I talked about with steps and creating content that people will share, and we talked about social currency, I think this is a really great idea from Omar. This is the hidden map for that hidden adventure. And certainly an audience, people are looking for things that are cool and off the beaten track. That younger audience are looking for those things. So this is a lead gate, capturing customer data that's offering something exclusive to a potential customer for OnDemand Camper Van. So I really like this idea. Thanks, Omar, for letting me share that with the group. One more point here around website, making sure it's fully responsive. This has probably been beaten to death by now, but you'd be shocked to know, I think it's something close to 50% of the websites that exist today are not responsive websites, meaning people go to a website on their phone and they're having to zoom in, scroll around. It's really difficult to navigate. Your website should easily translate to any size of device. And if it doesn't, this is also low-hanging fruit. Your web traffic today is increasingly a mobile customer. Something like 70 to 80% of web traffic today is now smartphone, tablet, and so on. So again, low-hanging fruit there. Yeah, I don't know if Chance is on the call. I didn't see Chance or Rebecca yet, but Fun Time RVs. You know, this is a local business, and something that's interesting, and why I'm sharing this is because we've seen this on a few different sites. The About Us page has lots of time spent on it. We're seeing averages of 7-8 minutes of time spent on About Us pages. So I thought that was interesting enough data to come and say and zero in on that. That's a lifetime. Sorry, was there a question? Someone jumping in? No, maybe his mute went off. So yeah, think about personalizing your About Us page. We're seeing this on several sites. The time spent here is actually quite high. So that's really interesting. And again, it's all about attention and time spent. So there's that. Okay, I'll share the OnDemand story. And again, Omar, really appreciate you allowing us to share and you being open about, you know, your journey through your own experience building your own site, and then having a shop take it over and build it for you. $500 you spent on site one, but it was 7 months of your time. So I'm sharing this because I know there's a lot of, if I looked at the stats shared yesterday, the bulk of the audience here is in the smaller end of the RV fleet volume. So, you know, 5 to 20, I think, is the bulk of the audience. So we're earlier stage entrepreneurs building out our businesses and creating scale and growing. I know myself in the early days of building RTown and past companies, it was do more myself to save money. And sometimes I made mistakes and could have invested more. So I want to point to the website thing here with Omar and share. His story was 7 months of his time and he built a site. Whereas professional shop did it for 2.5 month process, about $7,500 investment. And we have an A/B comparison between time periods, all things being equal. So the top level number is 160% increase in bookings. So his investment in the website being done professionally and not by you know, a cousin who's a designer and then a friend who might be a developer. there's a process involved in building really great websites that perform. Highly recommend a shop that takes an integrated approach to design, copy development, so that it is done with conversions in mind. And we love these stories because this is why RTown exists. I mean, this was a project that paid off in 2 months for Omar's business. So I know that's not always an easy leap to spend money, and sometimes we have to, or maybe we feel we're forced to do things ourselves as entrepreneurs. Just know that there can be a cost to that, and it's lost opportunity sometimes. So if you're going down the road of doing websites yourself, having looked at a bunch of RV dealer sites, these aren't the only rules, but a few that are kind of bugging me, so I'm going to share them here. Links off of your site. So you've got your top 10 destinations to visit from your RV dealer. I'm seeing so many blogs with articles that link to a Parks and Recreation website and taking the user away from your website. This is a big no-no. Have that open a new tab. This is super simple to do and set up. And I can't stress it enough. You want someone to close that tab and come back to your site, as opposed to they navigate away and then maybe they don't return to your site. So a very easy, low-hanging fruit thing to fix. Mobile first, and again, less is more. I kind of stressed that earlier. Good shop should get a site done for you in 2 to 3 months, as long as you're engaged in supporting content direction, site design, and so on. I'm just going to say it again. This is owned media. Don't chintz out on your website. Get a shop that builds it properly for you. This is owned. You don't control Facebook's algorithm or Instagram's algorithm. Building a business on Instagram or at Facebook's a huge risk, because the algorithm will change on us without us knowing. And then where are we? Your website is the cornerstone of your digital strategy. Don't chintz out here. This is owned media. You own this media. And whether it's us or another shop, I can't stress this enough. And then Wheelbase integration. So your customer's journey can be made easier. The clarity of your data can be improved if you get this integrated effectively. If you need any help there, we're also happy to help and have a conversation with you. And just kind of coming to the end here, and I want to spend a bit of time on measuring what matters. And I'm just kind of highlighting where time's spent on a marketing point of view, and what I hope for businesses that are looking to scale and grow is that you become more of the analyst and more of the person that is seeing things done inside your business. The journey of entrepreneurship is a beautiful one, so long as we're bringing ourselves to that place of freedom where we're not in the weeds constantly. We are sitting on top of our businesses and looking for the opportunities to plug in and grow profitability, grow jobs, and grow our overall system to impact more and more people's lives and make their lives better. That journey is one of going from doing things to looking at things being done. And what it should look like over time is that you're analyzing these things so that you know what good looks like. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm hoping to end on measuring your funnel and giving you things to think about so you can look at your data and understand what to look for and move yourself to that place of working on the business. So I'll explain this through a concept that I hope I don't lose anyone on, but it's leading and lagging indicators. So think of leading indicators as you're driving your RV down the highway and looking out the windshield. We certainly don't in RVs by looking in the rearview mirror. Okay, so leading indicators are out the windshield, lagging indicators are rearview mirror. So we can't impact what's behind us. We want to impact what is in front of us. And there can be confusion around this. So I want to talk about social media marketing. These are important in knowing what's working from a content point of view and an audience point of view. Likes, shares, and impressions are your leading indicators for whether your social media effort is going to drive bookings, right? So you've got to do these things first and see these metrics to know if it's going to have an impact longer term. Lagging will be what you want as an action from that. So hits to your website, and then pixel tracking, bookings from social media marketing. All right. Leading indicator for search marketing is your ranking on Google. And so again, page one, spot one or two. If you're doing ads, you're ranked there. So leading is fairly straightforward. You're going to be there as so long as you pay. But lagging is going to be traffic from source and then bookings from that traffic. All right. Leading indicator for your websites, well, that's going to be hits from XYZ traffic source, Outdoorsy, Google, Facebook, Instagram. Your leading indicator is your traffic source here and how much traffic you're getting to your site. Simple lagging indicator is, are people booking from your site? What is the percentage conversion? And that, again, I know it's ultimately what everyone's driving for, is an increased booking, more fleet, more of your fleet on the road. These other things up the funnel and tracking them are super important because it tells you whether you're on the right track to lead to that. Reporting should be clean and simple to understand. You got high level KPIs. This is an example of a report for one of our customers. So this is bookings over time, average order, volume of transaction. We've got trend line, and then we can break down the funnel by traffic source to get super clean data so you understand what's driving your business forward. Okay, lots in there. I'm going to wrap with that. Thank you guys so much. Cheers. I really appreciate everyone's time. I hope that was really valuable for the folks in the room. And there's my contact information if anyone wants to reach out or has a question. Go to rtownrv.com if you wanted to learn more about our company. So thanks so much, and appreciate everyone's time.
Luke, thank you very much for walking through so much information. I saw some questions in there asking about, will we share out the content on this one? I think we'll just cut it and share it out in its entirety. I think again, there's tons of great stuff in there, and as Luke just said, we'll get it back up on the screen here as Ellie puts the presentation back up. But the call to action to reach out to Luke and team. I've known him for a few years. He's Canadian. We've seen him do some great work already for a few Wheelbase dealers. So they're just really encourage you to reach out. Honestly, if you're taking a look at rebuilding your website, this is the time of year to start doing it, not just thinking about it, so that you can be in a good spot going into next season. We really believe in it in a big way. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a $500 credit to anyone who decides to update their website this year. So what that would do is any Outdoorsy bookings that come through into your platform, basically what we want to say is we want to chip in to help you make your website better, because we believe in it that much and your success, and we really appreciate all of our users on Wheelbase and everything you guys all add to the community. So this is our way to chip in a little bit. There's some information around the websites. Obviously, the more complex it gets, I'll let Luke talk to the slide, but that's our contribution of hopefully helping those of you who need to make a new website, which, to be honest with you, is a few of you. So really encourage you guys to take a look at this.
Yeah, and RTown's sweetening the pot too, so wanted to support this this push coming into New Year. So anyone who books with us by December 31st, we've offered a discount on our own pricing here as well. So get in touch. Happy to chat. Got a team that would love to speak with you here. So yeah,
awesome.
Thanks.
Ellie, if we go back one slide, I think it's got the also the information on just getting to the RTownRV.com. So nice and simple, RTownRV.com. Something you guys can click in there. We can drop that in the chat as well. But just to take a look at what's going on, and One to Van, RV Pirates, a couple websites that have spent time and effort and money on upgrading over this last bit of time. I don't see any specific question. Let me read through this again. But does anyone have a question for Luke? Not seeing a specific one there. All right, I think we're in a good spot. Luke,
yeah, excellent.
So I see some thanks in there coming through. Why are you so? There we go. I think that goes back to the being Canadian part. That's just my opinion. Is Luke aware of the iframe issue? I would say, what we recommend as well is the iframe is not the solution. We want to improve the iframe for sure, but the iframe actually isn't the solution. Doing a custom integration is the best way to go. And we would definitely say that to everybody. Obviously, it takes some time and effort. It allows you to do more with tracking, allows you to customize it more, allows it to line up with your brand. Luke, you can probably add on to it, but in our opinion, the iframe isn't the final solution. That is an easy stepping stone for early businesses.
Yeah. Agree with that. Yeah.
And I think an advantage of going with, whether it's RTown, someone else, but definitely RTown's done a number of times, is the more times they do the custom integrations, the faster and easier it gets, right? There's coding to go there. So definitely, good to go with someone who's done it before, successfully navigated making it what a customer wants.
So Luke, do we have to mention some sort of code to get a discount on your website building, or are you gonna just honor it as is, or how are we gonna do it?
Yeah, no, we'll honor it. Get in touch, and the team here is also aware. So if you wanted to email me, we can start a conversation, and absolutely we'll honor it. So no code needed. You'd have a conversation with us, and we would put it in place for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other questions? All right. If any others come through, Luke, we definitely pass them along as well. But thank you for your time. We're going to get into break a little bit early.